So I'm going to use this thing to secure the plate. I have a mental image of the plate layout in my head. This guy is a good way to help you remember. One thing that's not on here is the NTC, which is just going to be the molecular grade water that we use as a template. So, you know, if you're just make sure that you're conscious of all the wells that you'll be using. So I know that I'm going to use all these wells on the plate, and I also have right down here in row H, I'll also have a triplicate of a non-template control. So still going to leave my DNA over here. I'm going to take this guy. I want 23 microliters. And this guy. So pre-wetting. And then how I released was I went in at an angle, I released it all onto the side of the well and pushed all the way out and then pulled my tip up. I'm pushing all the way out against the side of the well to avoid introducing air bubbles into the volume at the bottom of the well. I'm changing my tip right now just for the sake of it, but you can definitely keep your tip for, like, you know, 10 wells at a time, which I will do right now. I usually pre-wet every time I use a new tip, and I'll just kind of go with it for a little bit so you can kind of see how I do. Okay, so now I feel like it's time to change my tip. Brand new tip, pre-wetting. Gloves.
Yeah, good.
Your hands get sweaty. Makes it hard to put a new pair of gloves on. Okay, so now we are going to put 23 microliters of the master mix recipe into all of the wells on the plate that is going to receive DNA for the qPCR reaction. So the plate, we use the Applied Biosystems Step 1 Plus platform machine, and so the plates that we use that correspond to that are these ABI skirted PCR plates with a barcode. They have a technical name which is escaping me, but I believe it's like microamp 96 well reaction skirted qPCR plate with barcode. I always take from the top where the plates are facing downward, and I hold the other guys down from outside the plastic bag and just pull one off. Oh, and where's that thing? That secure thing.
Oh, it's outside.
Okay.
I'll go get it.
23 microliters of the recipe into all of the wells. That's going to get samples. I'm going to change my gloves, and I'm going to get a brand new tip box of 10 microliter tips, because I'm going to also use that as a housekeeping tool for just knowing where I'm at with inoculating the plate. The next thing we're doing is putting 2 microliters of each sample into each well that sample needs. Each sample is in triplicate. We're changing the tip every single time. The 10 microliter filter tips are normally in here. It might not be here right now. Yeah, we're kind of empty. We have, oh, here, this box. So here's a brand new box. So I'm going to open it under the hood. This guy. So now I'm bringing my DNA in. Okay. And it's going to be hard for me to talk while I'm pipetting. So basically, I'm just going to give you a lowdown now. I'm going to always be pre-wetting every single time I go in. I'm going to be using a brand new tip every single time. I'm going to pre-wet the tip. I'm going to go into the well that I'm inoculating and also pipette up and down into the master mix. And then I'm going to push all the way out on the pipette, but I'm not going to do that until I've pulled the tip up and outside of the liquid inside the well. So I will allow for the possibility of droplets to be on the side of the well because I do want to push out all of the way. So we have the 10 microliter pipette. I'm going to bring it down to 2. It was originally at 5 when I was making my standard dilutions earlier. And I will have the tip box correspond to where I am on my 96 well plate. So I'm going to start first with the 10 to the 5th dilution of the standard. Pre-wetting. It's hard to see because it's such a small volume. Pull out. Mix inside the well. Pull up. Push all the way out on the pipette. Discard. Do it all over again. Oh, shit. We'll have to bleep that one out. It's going to be great. This guy fell. You can see all the droplets. So you're gonna be able to take the whole thing.
Whatever you want.
No, you can do. It's a kind of like this. I wouldn't. If this was footage, it would be. I would like make it fast.
Yeah. Why don't you just comment that about your tip box? And I think that's about the only thing that's happening
What about
here.
the tip box? Like.
Well, it's just now you can see where you've been.
Oh, okay.
Right
yeah, so you can see that I've done all the 5 standard dilutions. And these empty wells of the tips corresponds to basically where I've accomplished inoculation on the plate. So that's just how I'm using it as a housekeeping tool. Additionally, you can see where I've put it here, as if this is also a layout of a plate, just to kind of always quadruple check myself. And so one thing that I'm going to do right now is actually the no template control, where I'm basically just inoculating with the molecular grade water. So again, we have our sip only water, and I'm going to take, actually we have a little tube here as well. I took this tube out of here just to hold my 5 ml master mix I did earlier. But this guy is good for these small volumes. Okay, I've just inoculated all of the wells with the 2 microliters of each sample, and now I've changed my gloves, and we're going to cover the plate with the optical adhesive covers. These are also from ABI. So basically, they're like a sticker, so you take the back of it off, but you try your best to keep the 2 sides on, because you'll use that because you can touch them, but you don't want to touch any of the sticky part at all. Put it down and just place it on there. Don't press down with your hands. You'll use this guy to secure it. So I'll start from the middle and I work my way out. I'm not pressing down too hard just yet because I just want to get it on, and then I'll start the harder pressing. So just spreading it out, getting it on. I'll use the corner edge to secure the sides a bit. Trying to avoid any air bubbles. Top. This side. Doing it very lightly. And now I'm going to go and do it all over again, just a little harder. So now I'm pushing down at the edge. Okay, and now I'm going to use the corner to basically isolate every well from the well next to it. So first I'm doing horizontal lines in between and then vertical pressing. And this is just to decrease the amount of cross-contamination that can occur from one well to the next. Okay, now I've secured the tape. I look, actually, there are some air bubbles in the wells, so I'm just going to do like a little flick on those guys. We are going to spin the plate down, so don't worry about droplets on the side just yet. It's best to get rid of the bubbles inside of the wells because that will definitely interfere with the qPCR reaction. So I'll just use my finger as a reference. It's looking pretty good to me. And then we're going to take it to Shaylee's lab for spinning down. I'm going to put it back in this guy here, and I'm also going to cover it with 2 Kim wipes because we're going to have to carry it around the building. Okay, turn off.